Hi there, this is Art and Such, and for my tutorial today I wanted to make a Von Trapp, Captain von Trapp, to go with my Maria from The Sound of Music. But I won't lie to you, in all honesty, Captain von Trapp isn't greatly distinguishable from other men in suits. If you do want him to wear his outfit from the party, you can make his suit black and give him white hands for the gloves. Otherwise, I will be making him with this using all gray, black on the shoes, gray for the hair, black for the tie, a little bit of white here, and skin tone for the face. I used beads in this one. I will be using turquoise bands in this video. And the real beauty of this pattern is if you do have another character you like who happens to be someone who wears a suit from Mad Men or a legal show or anything really, all you need to do is change the hair color, change the eye color, and change the suit as need be. At any rate, we're going to get started on our Captain von Trapp, or man in a suit. And for our arms, we can begin by taking a single skin tone band and wrapping it 3 times on our hook. And then threading this onto 6 pairs of gray bands, or your suit color bands. This is 2. You're just going to put them at the end and bring all your other bands on top. This is 3, 4, 5, and 6. And at this point I'm going to ask you to pause your video and make another arm really quickly, a single wrap 3 times pulled onto 6 sets of double gray. Once you have that, you can turn to your loom, which we'll have in the offset configuration with the middle row above the other 2. And you're going to start with 2 skin tone bands from your first peg to your second peg in the center. You'll come down to either side with double gray bands. And then we're going to come down the center once with double white, and up from the center third to the right second with double whites, and from the center third to the left second with double whites. And this way we'll have a little bit of white showing under the tie. Next, you'll add 4 sets of double gray coming down until that 7th peg from the top, and you can fill out the loom on either side with double gray bands coming down. We are going to do our feet, but we're actually going to make this 3 times because we're using the same method to make our bow. If you're not making a bow, the tie, then you don't need to do this more than twice. But at any rate, we take 2 bands and wrap them 3 times onto our hook. And we're going to pull it onto 2 bands. This will be 1 foot. We'll do it a second time, and then we'll do almost the same thing to make our little tie. So take 2 black bands, wrap them 3 times onto the hook, and pull them onto 2 black bands. And again, we're going to pop these loops onto the bottom peg on the right side. Now for the tie, I find that two knotted bands makes it a little bit thick, but you can do that if you want a really bulgy tie. I am just going to take a single and wrap it 3 times, and then pull it onto 2 black bands. And we aren't going to fold this over or secure it right away. What we will do is take this top end and place it on the 2nd peg from the top. And you'll kind of squish your knot up there and just pull this to the side. And we'll be bringing it through and securing it after we've looped everything. So the last thing we need are some securing bands. And our arms. You can put your arms on at any point now on the top 2nd pegs. Would have looked a little funny with no arms. Now we can go right under the arm, third peg to third peg with a single, and raise it above the center in a triangle formation. And we'll repeat that underneath, just with the single again. And we're going to do this another time. So we have 4 triangles all together. And the last one, I would recommend a doubled over band so that things don't get too loose at the bottom. You can pull the bottom of this triangle up over your last center peg there. We're ready to loop. So let's do our center first so we can get those white bands. You're gonna take the bottom 2 bands and bring them up and over the next peg. And do this again, just get your bottom grays. When we do get to this peg with the white, that's our third one from the top, you're gonna grab the top 2 whites and pull them to the left over the arm, and take the next 2 and pull those to the right. And then we're going to leave the last part just for the moment while we come up the sides and finish it up there. So pick a side, go under your foot. You're going to take the bottom 2 gray bands up and over, and we're going to loop up, just taking those 2 gray bands from each peg and bringing it to the peg above. When you do get to the pegs with the cap bands, push the caps back when you're getting your bottoms so that we keep our pieces securely secured together. At the shoulder, you'll need to push back all these bands and just find the bottom 2, which have come from the center second, and you're going to return those to there. And don't worry about your tie too much, you can pull it out a little now or wait till after. We're going to go back to the bottom on the other side and loop up. Oops, try that again. There we go. So up the legs, always getting 2 bands. And get under the cap band for the bottom 2. And once we get to the shoulder again, we're gonna turn this around a little bit and find the bottom 2 bands coming from here and bring those back to the top. Lastly, let's go back and get that white band from under your tie. Pull it up and over and reach in for your skin tone bands for the neck. And then you can release some tension on the sides and take this off of your loom. You can give everything a little tug, and if anything needs tucking in, you can tuck it. For our tie, we're just going to pull it through the little holes, keep the knot near the top, and I'm going to take another hook here. I just don't want to lose my loops for the body. So what you can do, and you can do this when everything's done if you prefer, is come through the back with your hook. You're going to go just under these gray pieces and take your 2 black bands, put them on top, keep a little bit of tension on, and pull these to the back. And there you can just secure them with a C-clip. It doesn't have to be tight or anything. Okay, and give that a little tug up. For our face and our head, as I said, I will be using gray for the hair. So I'll start from the top center peg to the top right peg and come down to the top left peg the same way. This is pretty well the same design I used for Maria's face and head. So if it looks familiar, that's probably why. We're coming down on either side with double gray bands, 2 sets of double gray. And then we're going to fill in the face. 3 sets of double skin tone band down the center. one set of double skin tone on either side, 2 skin tone bands coming from your 4th right to your 4th center, and 2 from your 4th left to your 4th center. We're going to put 2 cap bands on, triangle formation, 3rd to 3rd, raised above the 3rd, and 1 above. If you are using beads, you might want to take a single and twist it a couple of times, place it on, like so. Keep the beads from slipping in. And for my eyes, as I said, I will be using bands. If you're using beads, you just want to get them both onto a single pink using dental floss or whatever works best for you. For our bands, we're going to take 2 singles and twist each 3 times onto the hook, and then pull this onto a single skin tone band. And try and keep them a little bit separate if you can. This comes from our 2nd peg to our 2nd peg across the face. And you will separate it in the center, bring that band on top. We need to put our body onto the loom, and this goes on the 4th peg down in the center. I'm just stretching it out over the band and the peg underneath to get it out of the way. And we're going to loop the top 2 back to the left, the next 2 back to the right, and the bottom ones will be going up. You can continue looping straight to the top now. And starting on either side, we're just going to loop up the sides, grabbing the bottom 2, pushing back our cap bands, bringing each set of bottom 2 up to the peg above. And the last 2 will go back to the center. We repeat this on the right side. And just straight looping up. And last part will meet here in the middle with 1, or if you want it to be a little thicker, you can use 2 or even 3 bands. We'll put our hook through the top peg and bring that single or those 2 bands through, pull the bottom over the top to create a slip knot, and you can remove them from your loom. And this last band can be secured in the back. You can just tuck it in or throw a cap band on. Sorry, a C-clip to cap it off there. And there we have it. He's very formal in his nice suit, and Maria has a Captain von Trapp. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I encourage you to check out my Maria one as well. And thank you for watching.